stop the court from granting just prayer. But it's wrong for us to preempt what the court may say or what the court will say. But the fact is, we can just share ourselves some thoughts, feelings, opinions of what we should be expecting. We're not preempting the court. The court has the final decision. The court has the say over it. But I don't personally see it where the court will say, okay, by what we have gathered, by what we're seeing, we think or we don't think I don't think the DNA should be conducted. It's a foul. I believe so much in the lordship that will be sitting over this case. But the fact is, let's keep finger crossed. Let's hope for better. I don't hate Wunmi, neither do I hate Liam. But Yoruba say, if you want to be your one way, let us be able to separate who is who and what is what. I'm not saying one person is responsible for. What I care about is Liam a true son of Mohbad or a biological son of Mohbad? We want to look at motive. We want to look at intent. We want to look at circumstances. If we are done with the DNA, we can look elsewhere. We can go as far as whatever Mohbad could have engaged in for the past 2 years, for the past 2 years before he's dead. But let us, for the sake of clarity, let us start from the intimacy. The intimacy is what we are looking at first. We have to look inward before we now start putting our searchlight towards the outward. It could be inward, it could be outward. But Yoruba people will say, let us take it from the big level that is close to the leakage. We will now climb the cone top of the moi. Limited to Mohbad. It's going to change the narrative of parenthood. It's not going to be limited to Mohbad. It's going to change the narrative of parenthood. It's not going to be limited to Mohbad. It's going to change the narrative of parenthood. It's not going to... Hello?
You can continue, sir. You can continue, sir.
Yeah, it's going to change the paternity, should I say admittance or paternity issue in Nigeria, because it's going to go a long way. The case of everything surrounding Mohbad is going to be an historic legal situation that will go into the record of Nigerian legal system. So this DNA is very important, it's very cogent, and it must not and cannot be swept under the carpet. So the DNA, there's nothing anybody can say. I don't believe the lordship that will sit over the matter will grant any objection or will consider any objection to that prayer. Because there are a lot of reasons that could be that someone can come up with, or that Baba can come up with. And let us say this for the sake of those who care to know. DNA is just like when you are asked to do a pregnancy test. It's not a death sentence. It's something that it's not injurious, it's not painful, it's not, as in, it poses no health harm, no hazard on anybody. So then why should we, because of one selfish reason, now decide to destroy a strong case that the whole country is willing to know what has happened. That is that on the DNA. And on the toxicology, the autopsy and the toxicology, as I always say, anytime the family is set to do the toxicology or the DNA, they will and they can go ahead to do it. I will say this without fear or favor. The government has disappointed and they have created a lacuna where the family can say we want to conduct our own. Because at the beginning, when the autopsy and the toxicologist samples were to be taken for the test, they could have written officially, documented to the family that we want to do this. If you deem it fit to invite your private pathologist, let them be involved so that we can conduct it. But there was nothing of such from the government. The Lagos State government did it on its own. The Lagos State government did not ask the family if they were going to present any pathologist or any lab, whatever that could go with them or that could see whatever operations or whatever anything they were doing. They went ahead to do it. And that is an area that the government has left for the family to say, look, we were not there when you were running this. We were not there when you were taking samples. We were not there when you were sending it forth. Because you never asked us of our pathologist, and we never gave you a pathologist. So we were outside. We were not aware of all this you did. So after you have satisfied yourself, I hope it will please you if we can go ahead to do our own. They have left that vacuum. They have left that lacuna for the family to say yes, because we were not invited. Assuming they were invited and they said, okay, we'll agree with whatever you are going to do, is a different case. But on this Mohbad autopsy and toxicology, the government never approached the family to either bring a pathologist or to sign a document that they will be satisfied and agree with whatever outcome the family, as in the government, will come up with. So also, in that regard, the autopsy, the whatever, you see, a lot of people are saying, go and do autopsy, go and do autopsy, go and do autopsy. Sometimes I just look, I keep quiet. Sometimes I just see as if I close my eyes as if I don't see. I hear, and I just keep a deaf ear. Because if you tell the truth, people will not believe. Even there are some lies you will give that people will still doubt. But if you give them the lies that they want, they will believe you. But for me, it's either I remain silent or I tell anybody the truth. I would never tell anybody a lie. Because whatever lie I give today will still become a reference tomorrow. Then where will I hide my face? If the lie I give today is now being used against me tomorrow, I don't want it. I want to stand firm and stand aloof at every point in time. Now, on that, I did my thorough investigation. I don't do my things on social media. I go to the field. I do my practicals. I do my field work. I am a graduate of empirical study. Gather your fact, then you table it. Not on TikTok or Facebook or social media. I conducted several pathologists. Some paid for them to listen to me and give me their side of story. Some out of goodwill and good mind. But what I want to say is this. I was made to know that it could not be something so pleasing, or is the truth, that since the body has been tampered with, since certain samples have been taken, I will not want to mention those things, but since the body has been tampered with, it will be difficult for any private pathologist to conduct perfect autopsy or toxicology, due to the fact that whatever result you are going to get is not going to be accurate. It's never going to be accurate. That if an autopsy is to be done privately, since pathologists were not invited to go with them, so that assessment and report could have been made together and samples could have been shared by parties involved. It will be difficult after it has been taken and you now go to a body that has been tampered with. You might not even get enough samples as you want. So they will have to get the result, the reports, those pathologists that were present when they were doing the autopsy.
Mr. Gracie, are you there?
I'm here. So it will be difficult to have perfect result, or now that hold on. Let me round up.
Yeah.
Now that the result is out, the result will be a guide. If the family really wants to do the autopsy, now is the perfect time to run their private autopsy and private pathologist, because the result, there are some things that might be consulted from that might need to be consulted from that result, despite running their own tests and doing their own things. So now is the perfect time to run the autopsy. If we have gone there to say we wanted to do it, the result and the attention might not be given. So I round up by saying that we are in the right direction, working in the right space, and by His grace, we are going to get the right result. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gracie, for that wonderful one. I appreciate you, and I quite understand your point and the choice of word that you made use of in the comment section. Right, I want us to understand something, that when someone is talking, one of the things that we can do while we are paying attention, while we are listening attentively, is the choice of word that the person is using. Now, it is going to be difficult does not mean it is not possible. It is going to be difficult does not mean it is not possible. And I saw one brilliant comment in the comment section, what I also appreciate everybody. The person said the old sample can be requested for. The old sample, you can request for the old sample. So it doesn't mean that the fact that something is difficult does not mean that that thing is not achievable.
Hello, Mr. Ish.
Yes,
Let me correct that. You see, once a sample is taken and being used to run a test, they destroy it.
Yeah.
They destroy it. So that doesn't mean we are going to get it right. It's just a matter of time and patience, and we can do it now. Now is the best time.
Yeah. So now we've gotten that right. It doesn't mean that it is not possible. It is only difficult, but with good professionals, those that know what they are doing, then we are going to get it right. So I can see something like the fear in the comment section. Somebody typed, I am a teacher. No, am I teacher? Don't be this thing. That's the reason why we can deliberate and talk. Let's get this thing right. Okay, needs to rest. Queen of energy. I know you can't wait. So once again, I want to say a big thank you to everybody still standing strong for the cause of justice for Mohbad. Let me quickly go ahead and say this also. Just the way we are still looking for, or just the way we are trying to ask who is the father of the baby on this platform. One of the things that we don't know on this platform is that we don't know who is responsible for the offing of Mohbad. That is the reason why we are out, and we are trying to help the security personnel to also help them look for who is responsible for the offing of Mohbad. On this platform, we don't know person who Kpai Mohbad. We are only asking who Kpai Mohbad, and we are also asking who is the father of the baby. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Mommy Iris, thank you. Mr. Gregsy, thank you. Mommy Jokem, Mommy God's love. Lion King, my wonderful brother, thank you so much. And God's protection, I see you. Mommy Jokem, let's have you, ma. Thank you so much, ma.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, panelists. Gracie, iOS, God's love, God's protection landscape. Good evening, everybody. I will start with the issue of the autopsy. Like Mr. Gracie said earlier, though we might have been waiting for the government's results to come out, but at the same time, I believe the legal team in position of the autopsy should have taken some step before the result comes out. But by the way, even when I was talking to a doctor friend, she made me to understand that even on skeleton of a disease, autopsy can still be carried on. Because I was asking her that the guy has been buried and exhumed, and the body has been in the morgue for over 7 months. And now, if the results that the government bring out, we did not accept it, or it did not favor the justice side, how are they going to get another specimen, as in sample, to use for another autopsy? She told me that that is the easiest way, that even on skeleton, they can still conduct the autopsy. So that is why on the issue of the autopsy, I'm very, very much believe that no matter how they manipulate the results or interpret the results, like according to the police, they said that they couldn't understand the terms they wrote there, that they are sending to pathologists for proper interpretation. That so no matter how they interpret the results to the general public, once we are still going to do our own, that no matter how the shape of the body is, that they can still conduct the proper autopsy. And if to detect the actual date, because if their own autopsy did not say the specific time and date that Mohbad passed on, then we'll know that something is strong there. Because toxicology is about the intake is about the substance or the poisonous something in the body system. But the autopsy will be able to determine if Mohbad was stabbed, and the actual day that Mohbad passed on. Autopsy will determine that. So I'm relaxed when I had that from a doctor friend, that even if the skeleton, they will still carry out the autopsy. And I'm much more happier there, because I believe when I could remember when Brekete came to Lagos, that they are not preserving Mohbad's body very well. Their aim and objective is to make the body rotten. And so when I got that it can even be done on skeleton, so I feel so relief on that aspect. And I believe that the autopsy they are going to read will be a truthful one, will be a clear one that will favor the team justice. I believe that, because I always say this, it can just shit here bed. So no matter what they want to do, I believe they will think twice, and the laboratory that carry out the autopsy will not allow them to defame the integrity of the lab in US. So that one is by the way. When we now come to the DNA issue, there are some things that the legal team needs to pile up. Like the last interview Iya Mohbad did, she said Mohbad wanted to conduct DNA test on that little baby, but the father said no, you don't need that. So that means Mohbad has already been doubting the paternity of that baby before his demise. So that gives Baba Mohbad the legal rights to ask for DNA test. So that thing should be added to what they are going to use to argue it out at the inquest and at the court. And if Wunmi lawyers come out and argue that DNA test cannot be conducted, or Baba Mohbad does not have rights to ask for DNA test, then it has proven to the whole world that that son does not belong to Mo. But in the best interest for me as a mother, I will advise her to honor the summon for the hearing, to make herself available for the hearing because of the future of that little baby, and submit herself and the baby for DNA test if she did not have anything skeleton under her wardrobe. If truly she believes that Mohbad is the father of that son, then she should make herself available for the hearing to obtain the court order, and she should not argue it out, because for her arguing it out that she wants to be on the defensive side, not to do the DNA, that means that baby does not belong to Mo. And lastly, according to them and all of our gullible followers and supporters, that says that Mohbad has adopted that baby, they should bring out the adoption paper. If a 26-year-old boy can adopt a child, are they trying to tell us that Mohbad is impotent or what? That he cannot father a child that will warrant him to adopt another person's child? So they need to bring out proof and the paperwork that they have on the adoption issue. And if it comes out that Mohbad adopted that baby, then why is she now lying that Mohbad fathered the baby? Why is she now lying that Mohbad fathered the baby? So those are the questions that need to be that she needs to answer. And more so, I want to say something, because I listened to one interview, or let me say speech or write-up by a Ghana guy, and the last word he says that what was the last moment between Wunmi and Mohbad? Wunmi needs to answer that question. It's a big question. What was the last moment between you and Mohbad? And what was the last word you spoke to Mohbad? What was the last word Mohbad spoke to you? Those three questions, you need to answer it. There is no way when someone is in dying state that will not say a word out to the person nearer to him or her. So she needs to come out and clarify all those things. Me, I don't care whether they say they dry like pala fish. I don't care about that. Those three questions, the last moments you and Mohbad spent together, the last word he said to you, and the last word you said to him, you need to come and answer those questions. Because we are talking about a 27-year-old guy, a promising child, glorious one for that matter. And someone will now be saying that the general public doesn't have opinion to ask for what really happened to that guy. And the father does not have the right to demand for DNA of that little baby. This damage control you are just doing, I pity you. And honestly, it pains me, because you did not even think about the future of that little baby. Because if you think about the future of that little baby, you won't drag this DNA matter to this extent. The audacity for me, you asking your father-in-law to get court order before DNA can be done. Are you trying to say that, okay, you believe as all stations settle no case, the judiciary too is settled, so that they will not even grant Baba Mohbad the court order. See yourself now. For the magistrate to pronounce a substantial alternative to serve you, then you should know that you are not more than the law and you are not more than the government. No matter how far you might run on this case, justice will be served and justice must prevail. So make yourself available, submit yourself and the baby for DNA test, so that we can close the chapter of this DNA issue. Honestly, I'm tired of this DNA issue, but you are the one that is prolonging it. Just make yourself available for this, and I pray we'll get this justice we are seeking for. And the next corona inquest will be a fruitful one, inshallah. And I want to appreciate all the legal team and the Sanwa Shitu. Please, you people should put in more efforts, because this justice is we are in this justice not because of Mohbad, it's because of the young ones out there, because of the young ones out there, all the male children out there, all the female children out there. It can happen to the female side, not because it happened to Mo now. That is the main reason we are clamoring for justice for Mohbad. It's because we want this our society to be conducive for both men and women to live in. That is why we are out clamoring for this. Nobody invited us to justice for Mohbad. Voluntarily, one after the other, we came into this justice movement to seek justice for him. Because of this, all the abnormalities in the society, killing the innocent ones for no reason. That is the main reason why we are lending our voice out for this justice. Not that we don't have what to do, we don't have anything to do, but with this justice is very, very important. It's very, very important to secure the life of our children. That is why we are clamoring for justice for Mohbad, and justice we shall get. Justice must prevail. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Mommy Jokem. It's always nice to have you on this platform. Always ready to listen to your voice and the words of wisdom coming out from you. Thank you so much. Justice is what we want. Justice is what we are gonna get. No negotiation, no backing out. Thank you so much. Having said that, please, this is a public service announcement from this platform, coming from me to everybody. I'm sorry to make this announcement. On no account should anybody call me or message me that he or she has a vital information or anything that is not on the social media. On no account should anyone say, I want to discuss something with you that have to do with justice for Mohbad privately. If it is not on the social space, please don't bring it to my DM. If it is not on the internet, don't bring it to my DM. If you bring it to my DM, I'm going to come out and I'm going to expose you. On no account, public service announcement, on no account should anybody enter into my DM and say, I want to discuss something private with you on justice for Mohbad. If it is not on the social space, don't bring it to my DM. If it is not coming from the court of law, don't bring it to me. If it is not coming from, if it is not on the social space, please do not bring it to me. If you do so, I'll come out and I'll expose you. Thank you so much for that wonderful one. I appreciate everybody. No, if it is Omoge matter, you can discuss with Mr. Lady. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. To all my mothers on this platform, to say, stop laughing. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's continue with this program. Mommy, God's love, Mommy Olafle. Thank you, Lord. I see you. Lion King, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
Yes, ma'am.
Jokem, God's love and Lion King. I cite all of you. I've been on TikTok this morning and I spoke about something. Someone was saying that Baba Mohbad would have taken this DNA issue, that he has the right, but he would have taken it behind the curtain. They can do it as a family thing, blah, blah, blah. Baba Mohbad got it, and I went there. before I could get to the panel, the person that said jump down. So I told them, Wunmi brought all this thing on herself and social media. Baba Mohbad didn't do it. Baba Mohbad want everybody to mind what they say and do things behind the curtain. But Wunmi thought he owns the social media or the social space. So today he's turning against her, and I'm thanking God that God is vindicating Baba Mohbad. Having said that, when people think they know too much, they find out that they know nothing. Wunmi come out and say because Baba did not have right to ask for paternity test. I laughed. In the straight way they are looking at the law, they will tell you it's only your husband that can ask for it. That is, if your husband died peacefully. This one that your husband is murdered, you told us he was murdered. We were not there when he was murdered, but you came out and said they have taken him away. You said, come and take your trophy. I've never in my life see a woman that they kill her husband and is giving them trophy. Thank God for killing my husband. Is that? So you went ahead to call us and tell us your husband was taken away, and we were looking at the wrong direction. Now, someone now came out and said, okay, let us look at this paternity test because it might be the motive. Jokingly, everybody jump on it and we make it a big deal. Like, she will never come out and do it. Baba did not have right. The only person that have the right to ask, Iyabo just said, is Mohbad, and Mohbad is no more. I just laughed. Not when there was a motive of killing. And the motive might be the man in question that died is asking who is the father of the baby. Who is the father of the baby? And for you that you want to save yourself, you quickly get rid of him. That might be a motive. And people asking this did not want to know if if Mo is the father or not. They want to know if they check and the baby belongs to Mo, then it's not a motive, they move forward. They weren't asking these things because of property. Because you came out to tell us that Mo did not leave a penny behind, a dime behind, that he died being broke and wretched. We are not arguing with you. You even said to the extent that the house where Mo was staying was rented. And it was rented for 170 per year. I look at my head, I say, how much is the old building when they are renting one for 170? At the end of the day, everybody understands that Mo actually bought the house 4 months before or 5 months before his demise. Now, you guys are still staying in that house. How many lies will you tell us? How many lies will you tell us? You go out portraying Baba like, oh, Baba is fighting for property, Baba is fighting for property, Baba is this, Baba is that, Baba is blah, blah, blah. Baba have no access to everything that his son left behind. And he has never for once called you out that, give me all the property. The only thing the man is saying, let us know if the baby you have, that you want to will everything to, is for Mohbad. Let us do the paternity test so that you can have it. You cannot take all the inheritance of Papa's son to a son that the man did not batted. I've never seen that one in my life. You have to come out, do your DNA. If it's match, then maybe it's the money you want. You don't want the man. You want the money. Then you have the money for yourself. But you cannot bring another man's baby from another family to come and inherit another family. It doesn't work like that. We need to come out, honor the court, go for hearing, and let us know where we are going from that. And even though the baby is still Mohbad's baby, I'm telling you, you are not out of the hook. Because you will still come out and explain how Mohbad died. That's my own thing. Walk in your husband. The man you tell the whole world is the husband of your youth. Walk in the husband of your youth. How did the husband of your youth die? How did you take care of this husband of your youth? That is always everything you want to say about him is Indomie. Indomie. Is that a way to take care of one's husband, of a youth? So now they're asking you, the whole world, not the whole Nigeria, the whole world is asking you, how did you treat this guy? When he was there crying and begging people and begging to leave, did you advocate for him? Did you use all your platform and say, leave my husband alone? Did you say, my husband is young, stop frustrating my husband? You come out now and be saying husband of your youth, even in death, you hold the life and death of your husband. Who born you? Who gave that to you? You are so. I don't want to use this language on you, but you are asking for it. You don't know what you're talking about. You went to a place where they come and pay your bride price. The guy did not come alone to pay that money. He brought his father. He brought Joseph Aloba to pay your bride price. And you are telling us that Atoku Ataye Iwolo ni oko eni. Then why don't you just go and bury your husband? Order them and say, okay, it's my husband though. And now that he's married to me, oh, he doesn't have mother, he doesn't have father, he doesn't have brother, sister. It's my property and I can do it the way I want. Okay, go and carry him and bury him. Oh, do anything. You just come out and talk rubbish. You said you were pregnant for 10 months. And you went to your father-in-law to beg your father-in-law to help you with prayers. You want to become pregnant in July. Then you give birth to a child in May of 2023. So in April of 2023. That means you're already like 2-3 months gone before you even go to that man and ask the man for prayer. Then you carry the pregnancy for 10 good months. Like you said it yourself. So the father is saying, if it's to be calculated with what you told me, in July you are not pregnant. And if the baby is giving birth to in April, then it's going to be a premature baby. And your baby is not premature. Then you have been lying from the beginning of the pregnancy up until when your husband died. You are planning along, pretending along, carry the mother along, and be perpetrating your evil. In the house the night you get home, the spending said there were 2 guys waiting. How did they gain entrance into your house? How did they gain entrance into that house? Did you give them the key to your house before you get there? How did they manage to get into your compound? 2 guys waiting. How did they manage to get there? That means when you tell them you are coming down at Orchard roundabout to go and sleep in an hotel, you already plan all you want to plan. So the boys that was in the house were there, like, okay, we are here now. At least she'll come down, she's not coming. Then whatever you want them to do, they do. You now say, oh, I was not around, oh, we fought and I come down, oh, not knowing what you have planned. Who are the 2 men in the house? How did they gain entrance? Who gave them the key? Who gave them another way to come into that compound? How did they get there? And what was their mission in that house? These are the reasons why people are asking for a DNA, because all this is surrounded by Wunmi. Wunmi is the author and finisher of the evil that befell Mohbad. You had a baby for him, and he died. He was buried and exhumed and was placed in a morgue for almost 6 months. Because of what? They want you to do DNA and you are refusing. You went ahead and go and celebrated a birthday for a 5-month-old baby that the father had when he was 5 months, and 7 months later he turned 1 year. You go ahead and celebrated the birthday and you hold the mic and you are singing. You want to prove to us you are a rapper. What type of love did you have for Mohbad? What type of love did you have for the young man that you never even feel the pain of a mother for a man that you said you have dated since you were 10 years? That means you have been with this young man for the last 14 years. So if you have a brother that your brother is 14 and you are 16, then you are 2 years before your brother was born, and then your brother now died or died. Will you throw that away, the bonding the family, the living together, the love you have for your brother for 14 years, will you just forget that love in a space of 5 months? Even when your brother was not buried, you will go and mark your birthday, at least Otiku and Tokutiku. What is love to me? You have the audacity to say, hey, you want to, by now, you are supposed to be enjoying what your husband left behind. Hello, beer. Who is your mother? Sometimes I ask myself, did this young lady have anything called humanity in her? Is everything going to be about And for one good thing, she's so lazy. From brain to physical. She cannot turn 1 naira to 10 naira. She cannot do it. Just looking for a way to leverage on other people's sweat. Your husband died. The father did not know. We don't know if you have told the mother, but when your father-in-law got there, the lawyer was there. So the lawyer, what was the lawyer doing before your father-in-law? What was his lawyer doing calling your father-in-law? So the person that worked for that thing, you don't even have to sit down and think that this guy was here last week. He has a whole lot of plans ahead of him. And before you could say Jack Robinson, he's nowhere to be found again. And to now make the case worse, the head was bent in a baby-like coffin and go and bury like that. And you have your peace. You were able to sleep as the wife. You saw him in that coffin. The head was bent, and you call yourself a wife, a mother. I don't believe you are a mother, and that is where I concluded that baby you are carrying in your hand, you need to still go and do maternal DNA, because now we don't know where his placenta is. Who knows if it's a baby wrapped in nylon and come and sell for you? Me, I'm not afraid. I don't want to be afraid. If you cannot provide your baby's placenta, that will be the first baby that did not have placenta in the whole wide world. The father did not see the placenta. The father only said, my mother-in-law will take care of the placenta. The father did not have the placenta to say, oh, my wife's mother, say, go and bury it for me. Who knows where you bring the baby from? Because if at all you open your legs and the baby come out with the pain, you feel when the baby is coming out, you will think of the day your husband was bettered by another woman and another father. Then you will behave well. You will sit down and say, no, I can't do this to another person. Because you don't feel pain. You will just say, I'll protect my baby with the last breath in me. No, it's because of the money you know is going to inherit from Mohbad. It's not because you love the baby like that. You don't love the baby. You only know that it's a source of wealth for you. If the whole wealth of Mohbad could go to that baby and you claim it as you are the mother, then the wealth of Mohbad is still in your hand. You are not telling us what, because if I'm privy to be where the DNA will be conducted, you have to be tested too. Because I really want to know if you are really the mother of that young boy. Because if you are a mother that you have carried 9-month pregnancy, not fake pregnancy, real pregnancy in your tummy, and you even though it's by cesarean operation or you give the natural way of giving birth, you will not be doing what you are doing. You will never try it. You will never in your life try to treat another man's child the way Mohbad is treated. And you call yourself a woman, and you call yourself a wife, that they open your husband coffin and the head is bent, you never say, oh, no. But you are telling people, don't open. You are telling people, don't open, but you cannot tell people once they are open and they have seen that thing. And you begin to throw things into the grave of that young man. You at least that we saw clearly there was a pot in a nylon in that place, and you threw another cloth on him. And you are telling us that you don't know what's killing him. My dear, either you sit down and tell yourself what you want, you can only run in a circle. And you know, when they say you are running in a circle, you don't leave a place. No matter where you go, you come back to where you start from.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Mommy Ghost Love, for that wonderful one. That is the